Okay, today I want to talk to you about the concept of Brix and quality of fruits and vegetables. Specifically, I'd like to focus on tomatoes. It's it's my thing. I've been growing tomatoes for a few years. However, I haven't had the time to do it properly until now. But I've been around this Brix concept for a long time, and the end result is that Brix equals quality. It does not only equal high sugar. And I'm on a website, bionutrient.org. And this is a great little website or web page describing it. And let's just go through this quickly. Brix is a scale based on the amount of light that bends when it passes through a liquid. So what you do is you put a drop of tomato juice. Let's say you go buy one at the store, buy a tomato, buy any tomato. You cut it, put a little bit of juice on the refractometer, and you hold it up to a light, and the juice will cause the prism to have a blue part and a white part, and where those two colors meet, whatever that number is, that's what the Brix of your tomato is. So it's pretty easy to measure. It's quick, it's cheap, it doesn't cost any money once you buy the unit, and that's what this article is about. And so it talks a little bit about how to do it and how it works. And it was developed by, there's a Brix chart that was developed by Kerry Reams. And he was an interesting character that did a lot of things. He started out in the health world, but he ended up being in the being an expert in the agricultural world. And I actually did a seminar, a presentation on Brix and food quality many years ago, which I'm going to do in another, I'm going to redo that one and show you in another video. But for now, we're just going to do a quick synopsis. Again, go to bionutrient.org/Brix, and it says, how does Brix relate to quality? And it talks about winemaking, which is where it's known for. And by the way, it's also used in the orange citrus industry a lot. In fact, apparently in Florida, the producers will get paid more when they have a higher Brix product. And in the grape industry, they measure the Brix before they harvest the grapes, so they know that it'll make the best wine possible. But this tool and this concept can be used for growing other fruits and vegetables, and I've been focused on tomatoes. Brix measures the percent solids in a given weight of plant juice, nothing more and nothing less. So the amount of solids in that fluid that you put on the refractometer creates a number. And I'm just going to skip over to a chart that Kerry Reams made for for fruits and vegetables. And if you look, poor, average, good, excellent. And if you go to tomatoes, you'll see that a Brix of 4 is poor, 6 is average, 8 is good, and 12 is excellent. It turns out that you and even myself, we have never had a 12 Brix tomato. I have had an 8 Brix tomato many years ago, but when you go to the store or the farmer's market or your garden, you will get between a 3, 4, 5, or 6 Brix tomato. And I'm also not talking about cherry tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes tend to be a little higher in sugar because they're bred that way. So the true test is an heirloom tomato and a slicer. A medium tomato. That's really what I'm talking about. However, even cherry tomatoes bought at the store are just slightly more than the slicers. They're still very poor quality. And you can tell that in the taste. So if we go back to this website, it talks about refraction, because that's what we're using to measure. It talks about a lot of things here. I recommend that you read this. I don't need to read it for you, but if you're interested in this subject, this is a good place to start. This is a refractometer. There are no moving parts other than the lid. There's no batteries required, so it's pretty cool. You can have this in your pocket, and when you're harvesting your crop, take a look, and you'll get the idea. It talks about how to use one. There are, by the way, digital refractometers, but optical refractometers have their benefits, and we'll get to that. This is what you would see. This picture isn't very good, but this is the idea of what you would see when you look through it. And actually, as a grower, if you're growing tomatoes, you can use this instrument to measure the leaves of the tomato while you're growing them, to know how they're doing and to measure their health. So it talks about who invented the word, and it came from a professor with the last name Brix many, many years ago. And it's been used ever since. But I think, and others think, that it should be used more often in our current world to judge, to judge and even decide how much you're going to pay for your produce. So recently I was on ChatGPT, and I was trying to get consensus, because really that's what ChatGPT is a consensus of what is going on with a certain topic. And I was quite surprised that it came up with some, interesting things. Because what I was asking was, tell me about the health of tomatoes and Brix and how they're related in a detailed way. And it came out with more than I expected. For instance, here's the chart. 4 to 6. Remember that chart we looked up back here? 4 is poor. Average is 6. Good is 8. And excellent is 12. Oops. So it says watery, bland, typical of conventional supermarket tomatoes grown in, chemical NPK soil. Really hydroponics. I mean, a lot of the big ag growing now is hydroponics. Even if it's in soil, the soil is often dead or very low quality. It's not really a living soil. And for a grower who only wants to get a product that looks like a tomato, this is the most efficient way to do it, or it's a very efficient way to do it. I don't know about the most. Nutrient profile: high water, weak flavor, low antioxidants, low flavonoids, may carry toxic metals. And that's interesting. We'll talk about that at some point. Effect on health: toxic. Empty calories: sugar without protective compounds, may increase oxidative stress and metal burden. So what this means is that these are the tomatoes you've been eating for years. This is all over the world. I've traveled many places, and I've taken my refractometer, and honestly, I've never seen anything above a 6. In fact, a 6 is very rare. I have seen 3s. I've seen 4s and 5s. That's really all that I've seen. But I am aware that it is possible to grow higher quality tomatoes. ChatGPT says 7 to 9, decent garden tomatoes or average organic. And by the way, organic does not mean high quality. It means, sure, there probably wasn't sprays used on it. So it's a step in the right direction, but often organic produce, again, not all the time, but often it's low quality. Anyways, nutrient profile: moderate minerals, some polyphenols, better flavor. And by the way, speaking of flavor, whenever you're at a supermarket and you buy those tomatoes, or you're at a restaurant, the only way they can make those tomatoes, palatable, is with sauces or cooking them, sugar, putting them in combinations with other things. They have to be part of a recipe. You don't really take a supermarket tomato, take a bite of it and say, "Oh, this is great." They just don't have the flavor. It's ChatGPT says it's a neutral food, not strongly detoxifying, but not outright harmful. Okay, let's move up. 10 to 12, well grown. Biological balanced soil with microbial activity. That's the key. You need microbes. You need living soil to get to this point. These are high in vitamin C, phenolics, glutathione, strong flavor, and aroma. They start to have a good smell. Healing food supports chelation, reduces oxidative stress, provides real nutrition. Okay, let's go to excellent on this chart. Excellent right here. Rare, peak of biologically active soil and full mineral balance, often found in regenerative permaculture systems. Well, I don't think that's true. I haven't seen it. There may be some out there. I'm not saying, but that's very rare, and I wouldn't assume it. Extremely dense in minerals, antioxidants, organic acids, full flavor. Tomato that tastes like a tomato. Truthfully, I wouldn't call these tomatoes if it's 4 to 6 or even maybe 7 to 9. Like, those are really just something that looks like a tomato. And as far as the effect on the health, medicinal, acts like a daily microdose of chelation therapy, binds excess iron, copper, cadmium, mercury, reduces inflammation, and supports detox organs. Can you imagine? I myself have not yet ever had a tomato in this category, but I plan to change that in the near future, and we'll talk more about that. So that's just a little introduction about Brix, health, and specifically tomatoes. And that's just what I wanted to talk about today. And stay tuned, and we'll talk about more as we go. Thank you.